Happy Friday, Junior. This is All About Bitcoin, a show dedicated to all things, questions, and markets related to Bitcoin, little b for the currency, and Bitcoin, big B for the network. A collective journey to understand, apply, and use this innovation, all Bitcoin, all the time. And I'm your host, Christine Lee. Taking a look at our top stories, SEC Chair Gary Gensler recommending to Congress that they regulate crypto exchanges in a hearing on the regulatory response to the runaway GameStop stock price rally earlier this year. Have a listen.
Right now, the exchanges trading in these crypto assets do not have a regulatory framework, either at the SEC or our sister agency, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. That could instill greater confidence. Right now, there's not a market regulator around these crypto exchanges, and thus there's really not protection against fraud or manipulation or a conflict.
In more regulatory news, the IRS will now have access to KRAKEN data on customers who've traded more than $20,000 worth of cryptocurrencies on the platform to catch tax cheats, according to a California court ruling. This isn't the first time this has happened. Last month, Massachusetts granted the tax authority access to Circle customer data for similar transactions. And Latin American e-commerce giant MERCADO LIBRE disclosing a 7.8 million Bitcoin purchase on Wednesday, making it the latest publicly traded company to park BTC on its balance sheet. It's the largest e-commerce platform in the region. And finally, ING analysts think DeFi could be more disruptive than Bitcoin to the financial sector, according to a new report. The bank's blockchain lead telling CoinDesk that DeFi will become a key part of its digital asset vision and has established a working relationship with decentralized lender Aave. Meanwhile, Goldman Sachs is leading a $15 million investment into crypto data firm Coinmetrics. So checking in on Bitcoin, the CoinDesk Bitcoin Price XBX Index is currently trading at just under $56,000. Bitcoin is slightly down, just about 2.5% over the past 24 hours. The most reliable reference prices for institutions since 2014 are now published under the CoinDesk brand, trusted globally as the leader in crypto news, events, and data.
The chart of the day is brought to you by Crypto.com, the world's fastest growing crypto app.
So trade volumes for Bitcoin and Ether in April rivaled January's record highs, with ETH and BTC volumes nearly the same, according to this chart from the CoinDesk research team using data from Kaiko. So BTC is at the top there. You've seen blue and orange. ETH is below in shades of gray, and they're nearly the same. Following a new all-time high above $64,000, Bitcoin struggled to re-break 60 and ended the month at $57,000, down by about 2%. By contrast, Ethereum closed April near all-time highs following reports that the European Investment Bank plans to launch digital bonds on the Ethereum network. The divergence between Bitcoin and Ethereum follows a trend over the past year, which sees Ethereum increasingly considered an investable asset with growing numbers of real-world use cases, while Bitcoin is increasingly seen as a store of value. And joining us now to discuss is Ed Moya, Senior Market Analyst of the Americas at OANDA, a Forex firm. Welcome, Ed, to the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so Bitcoin is usually the market leader that brings the crypto markets up, but lately it has been lagging behind and the alts have been catching up. ETH, in fact, today hit a new record high above 3,600. So what's happening?
Ethereum's been on fire, and I think what we're starting to see is that there's a big move in cryptos that happened in the end of March, and what we saw was, Bitcoin, for many people, it was the store of value trade that was starting to run out of steam, and there was concerns that we were going to see U.S. Treasury yields continue to rise, and that was going to trigger a much stronger dollar. And for right now, what we're seeing is, that kind of triggered a little bit of a diversification trade in the crypto world, and I think what we're seeing is there's been a lot of investors that have been not necessarily viewing Bitcoin as that hot trade right now, and they've been running to Ethereum, Cardano, and there's so many other altcoins that people are trying to spread their bets. I was avoiding Doge, but yes, Doge has been the biggest buzz. I mean, I think personally, I get quoted every day, but when I'm seeing my name with Meek Mill, and after he's throwing $50,000,
10,000%
yeah,
year to date. But
it's just insane. It's
insane.
that momentum, and it's providing so much interest in this space. But it's really going to the altcoins, and Bitcoin's been consolidating.
Well, let's take a look at Bitcoin. You sent us a chart here. What are we looking at?
Well, right now, I think you could see that there's been, for the most part, a healthy consolidation. I think right now, price is trying to find a range between that $50,000 and $60,000 level, but still, Bitcoin is trending above its three key simple moving averages. And what you're going to see is that I think the bullish trend is still firmly intact. I think that what's also providing a lot of support here is that Bitcoin it is still winning, massive corporate America adoption. And I think that the news from Fidelity, I think, Goldman Sachs coming out with new derivatives, there is still tremendous growth for Bitcoin. It's just that right now, it's not, I think you're seeing that the steady one-way traffic for just Bitcoin, that's not happening. So it's going to take a lot longer for prices to continue to rally. And I think what really has benefited and changed my outlook in the short term for Bitcoin is that, I think the policy by the Fed is possibly becoming a mistake, and you're going to see that the dollar is going to be probably very vulnerable, I think, in these next couple of months, and that has really, you've seen that trigger a massive super commodity cycle, but I think you're going to see that really eventually trickle its way back into Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is right now going to provide a good move higher here, just because of you're seeing a lot of people unwind their dollar positions, and there's a lot of uncertainty with equities right now as far as how much higher can we go.
So where do you see Bitcoin in the next 3 months versus the end of the year?
Well, I think right now you're probably going to see that there is a strong argument that you're going to probably have prices make a run to fresh record highs. I think 75,000 is where you're going to see some exhaustion. In order for Bitcoin to really extend beyond that, you're going to need to see that the Fed is going to remain stubborn and hold off on any tapering signals until the Jackson Hole Symposium, which would be in late August. I think that would provide an opportunity where you could make that argument that Bitcoin could make a run towards 100,000. But right now, I think in the very short term, in these next few months, you're probably going to see 75,000 be a very critical resistance level. But I think that, the fundamentals for the most part, yes, there's a better argument for some of these altcoins, but I think as you have people become more concerned with taxations, that's going to lead to just longer term bets for Bitcoin. As you see more, I think, volatility with Dogecoin, I think there's going to be a little bit a kind of a similar 420 reaction where you saw that, people are disappointed it didn't go to the moon after Saturday Night Live's appearance from Elon Musk. And you're going to probably see that I think Dogecoin is going to remain very volatile. And I think there's now growing institutional interest that they're taking advantage of this retail pop, and they're going to want to ride this lower. And I think you're going to see Dogecoin be an extremely volatile trade, and eventually people are going to settle, I'm going to go back to the bread and butter trade, which is Bitcoin.
Ed, what do you make of Gary Gensler's comments today that crypto exchanges need to be regulated, and the IRS has been approved to access user data on KRAKEN for transactions over $20,000? Is this good for the industry, or will it regularly slow things down in terms of innovation?
I was on the phone with a reporter when this happened, and my first comment was, if we didn't have Gary Gensler as the head of the SEC, we probably would have seen Bitcoin drop 5 or even 10% off of that news. Gensler is crypto friendly. The crypto verse needs regulation. It needs some more, I think, rules in place that is going to help protect the consumer, and also too, anti-money laundering concerns. That's a big to-do list item for them, and you're going to see this regulatory action, come about. So I think, in the end, short term, it's somewhat negative for Bitcoin, but I think in the end, the space is going to get cleaned up, and I think you're going to see that it will be able to thrive once these regulations get pushed through.
And by contrast, earlier I spoke to a South African crypto business that wants regulations so that they have clarity on how they can move forward in the crypto industry. But thank you, Ed, for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
Right, that was OANDA Senior Market Analyst Ed Moya. Coming up, Revolut, a bank in your pocket on giving you control over your crypto.
We are witnessing the greatest paradigm shift in finance in modern history. Join thousands of newsmakers and influencers talking the future of money at Consensus by CoinDesk. A live virtual experience of leaders, changemakers, virtual reality meetups, keynotes from Ray Dalio, Gary Vaynerchuk, and much more. Get an up-close look at the boom in crypto, the surge of institutional investment in Bitcoin, NFT mania, the breakneck innovation in decentralized finance, and the coming disruption from central bank digital currencies. Join us May 24th to May 27th for Consensus by CoinDesk.
Welcome back. Revolut, a UK-based digital bank in your pocket, will finally allow users to withdraw their Bitcoin to their own personal wallets. For now, however, this will be limited to British customers who subscribe to Revolut's Metal service. Joining us now to discuss is Edward Cooper, head of crypto at Revolut. Welcome, Edward.
Hey, great to be on.
Great to have you. All right, so explain to our viewers first what Revolut is, who is using it, and what is it being used for?
Yeah, sure. So Revolut's an all-you-can-eat full-stack financial platform that allows you to manage your money in any way you choose. Started off as a way to get when you traveled abroad, so you can exchange between like 120 different currencies. Also, we offer current account services. So essentially, like you said, it's a bank in your pocket. So that's got savings and budgeting, etc. Now we also allow you to trade stocks directly from the app and toes in 17. So anything that you want to do, it's like an actual super app. And it's available to all customers across the EEA.
Mm-hmm. Edward, there has been criticism on Revolut for not allowing users to move their crypto off the platform. The saying goes, if it's not your keys, it's not your crypto. But your latest news is that things are about to change. So tell us more.
Yeah, that's right. I haven't been able to even post of my cat on Twitter. So someone trolling me saying, not your keys, not your coins, when draw crypto from Revolut. So we write the crypto product way back in 2015, actually. So we launched 2015, we actually did do a prototype where it was fully open. But back then, kind of like the regulatory landscape meant that some of our partners weren't completely comfortable with that. So we actually had to go with the approach that we've had up to now, which was you could trade, but you couldn't withdraw. So behind the scenes, we've been working, very hard.
I was afraid that would happen. All right. Well, thank you, Edward Cooper, for joining us this afternoon, nevertheless. You can read more on CoinDesk.com. And that was Revolut Head of Crypto, Edward Cooper. That's it for All About Bitcoin. I'm your host, Christine Lee. Join us tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. in New York for First Mover, your first look at the day's global crypto news headlines. You're watching CoinDesk TV.